Good afternoon, everybody. Jay Marsden here, Marsden Law Group. One of the things we wanted to reach out to you today as part of this video was to talk about the morality of Medicaid planning. And the reason I bring it up that way, the reason I call it the morality of Medicaid planning is a lot of people will give us feedback that says something along the lines of, why should people do that? Why should people rearrange their assets? Why should people involve themselves in some of these asset protection strategies in an effort to make themselves available for these benefits? And the biggest concern that we hear from people is that you are somehow, some way, some shape or form, you're affecting the wage, or you're affecting the people who work in a nursing home and that are somehow not able to take advantage of a living wage because of this type of Medicaid planning that goes on. Now, the important thing to keep in mind is, first of all, two things. There are two distinct but similar sounding programs that people often confuse when they're talking about this type of issue. One of them is that Medicare is different from Medicaid. Medicare is the program that covers health insurance. Medicaid is the program that covers long-term care insurance for people who need help in a nursing home. So first of all, they're very distinctly different programs. What we're talking about is Medicaid planning, and that is planning around your assets and how your assets affect your eligibility for Medicaid. And the way that we look at it is the planning that we do as elder law attorneys and the planning that we do around Medicaid planning for people is just like the planning that you do when you have a tax advisor. So if you have somebody who's helping out with your taxes, they basically say to you, these are the rules that the government has laid out for you. This is how you follow those rules. And this is how you basically take advantage of the different things that the tax code lets you do in an attempt to reduce the amount of money you pay for taxes, keep the money that's rightly owed to you, and then pay the amount of money in taxes that you're supposed to pay. Medicaid planning is just like tax planning. We know what the rules are, we know what the regulations are, we know what those rules and regulations allow us to do. And so what we do as Medicaid practitioners, elder law attorneys, Medicaid planners, is we look at those rules, we help those rules guide the planning that we do for our clients. And so we take a look at what's available and what's allowable, and we take those rules and those regulations, and we sit down with our clients and we say, okay, based on the rules and the regulations that the government has laid out for Medicaid planning, just like we would with the Internal Revenue Code if we were tax planners, this is the planning that you can do according to the way the rules and the regulations are written. And if the government changes those rules and if the government changes those regulations, then our planning strategies and our techniques may also change. So for those of you who are concerned about that, remember, we're following the rules and the regulations as they're laid out, just like we would in any other area of planning, specifically just like in tax planning. And for those who are concerned about the impact on people who work in this field and the people who are trying to obviously receive and attain a living wage, all of these nursing home facilities, all of these healthcare providers, they have a business model. They have a business plan, and their business model and their business plan contemplates that some portion of their population might be private pay patients and some portion of their population may be Medicaid patients. How those people end up on Medicaid, in some cases, it's a very straightforward process and a very straightforward application. And in some cases, it's a little bit more of a confusing process and the application is a little bit more confusing to that particular situation. And that's where we come in. That's where we bring our expertise to bear in helping our clients understand the rules and regulations and what you're allowed to do when it comes to Medicaid planning. Does it affect the wage that people receive in a nursing home? That's a business model question for the nursing home folks. All we can tell you as a practitioner is this is what the rules allow for. This is what you can do. This is what you're allowed to do. And then help guide our clients through what is a very confusing process and a confusing set of regulations, much in the same way that your CPA or your tax professional helps guide you through the very confusing rules and regulations of the tax code. So if you have any questions about that, please feel free to give us a ring at your convenience or send us an email. Our phone number 508-858-5324. And you can always email us at J-A-Y, at the letter J, marsdenlaw.com if you want to discuss this topic in more detail or you want to discuss this topic as it pertains to your specific situation. Thank you very much and have a great day.